fellow students. Hi, so welcome back on lesson 26. Today we're going to be studying the timeline, so it's past, present and future. Okay, so let's start with the past. On the past we have past perfect simple, past perfect continuous, past continuous and past simple. So let's go for the past perfect continuous first. It's an action that happened before a certain time in the past to show duration. For example, I had been going to school for a year when it was closed. So everything that is perfect, use had, because had been is for the past, is for the perfect. Okay, past perfect. And present, well, I'm going to show you in a minute the difference between the present and the past. So the past of have is the verb had, okay, and so we use it had been and not have been. So in the past, when we're talking about the past, make sure you use had and been. And then of course verb in the ing, which is going. Past perfect, an action that happened before another event in the past. For example, I had washed the car before it rained. So you will use the verb had, and you're going to use a verb in the past, like washed. Wash, present, ed, remember it's a regular verb, so it becomes washed. Past continuous, so don't forget it's the ing, and because it's past continuous not perfect, you don't have to use the verb have or had. So it's an action that happened at a specific point in the past. For example, I was washing the car when it rained. Okay, so rained in the past, so it's what's happened. Was is something that you did in the past as well. Last lesson we learned about it. And of course, continuous washing, ing. So you remember, you can use washing present, past and future, past, present and future. So it really depends on the context. In this situation, it's in the past. Past simple, an action that happened in the past. For example, I went to school. Fact. Okay, so it's something that happened in the past. It's a fact. And then for the present, we have present perfect continuous, which is an action still continuing from the past to the present. For example, I have been learning English for 3 years. So it's a present continuous, something that happened in the past and still going now in the present moment. And can you see I have been, because it's perfect, so have been. Okay, not had, because had is the past of have and it's in the past. So have been. Present perfect, an action started in the past that has been completed in or has relevance to the should be, not be. I have gone to school to fit the pattern for of example. So I have gone to school. I have gone to school. So you use the verb have and you use the verb in the past, gone, because it happened in the past and it stayed in the past. Okay. And then we have a present continuous, which is, you know, the exact same as the past, but of course we don't use a verb in the past, we use it in the present and ing form. So an action which is occurring now, which is happening now. For example, I am studying. I'm not studying, I'm actually teaching or, you know, recording a lesson for YouTube. Okay, so that's something you're doing at the moment. Present simple, a general ongoing, regular or scheduled activity. For example, I take English classes every Monday. So it's a fact, it's something that you do. Okay. This tea is hot. So. More or less. Future. Future perfect continuous, an action at a certain point in the future expressing duration. For example, I will have been studying English for 3 years this summer. Okay, so this summer is still in the future. It hasn't, it's not in the past, it's still going to happen. And it is showing that you will have been studying 3 years, so 3 years from the past until the present, until you finish it in the future. Okay? Future continuous, an action occurring at a specific point in the future. For example, I will be finishing this time next week. I will be finishing, ing, something that you will be doing in the future this time. Future is simple, an action to be completed in the future. For example, I will go to the cinema. Okay. Now, in the bottom of your material, you have a timetable, so it shows you more specifically, has, graphs to show you the perfect tenses in the past, present, and future, continuous, and, what's happening. It's interesting that you look here because there's, a few examples as well, other types of examples. And what I would like for you to do is create 3 phrases for each of them. So you practice. So it's very important that you practice this so you know the difference between each of them. And of course, in the future, in intermediate and advanced, we're still going to be looking at this, but not specifically. Because it's more conversation kind of classes, but this one is good for you to know the difference and to know that they exist. It doesn't have it's specifically in English. In Portuguese, for example, it's different. I'm sure other countries and other languages is also different. It doesn't really necessarily means that this is for everybody, but in English this is how we use it, and it's important for you to know. Okay. Next lesson, on lesson 27, we're going to be doing as well the timetable, plus we're going to be looking at some precise examples. So I'm going to be reading that with you, and then there is a little paragraphs just to show you an example. Okay, so thank you, and I'll see you next lesson.